Hey everybody, welcome to Module 6 of our Children's Lit class. And before I get into this module, I need to state a disclaimer from last week. After I had talked about that book, The Sandwich Swap, that I had you take a look at and had asked you about why it's not being published in Israel, I reread that article again, and there was no reference to the author. It doesn't say that Queen Rania didn't want it published in Hebrew. So I redid that document and intended to upload it. I may have even done it, and sometimes Blackboard just glitches. But this was the question I really meant to ask was, the article makes a reference to the fact that the book can't be published in Hebrew nor sold in Israel, but I wanted to explore that, and I just wanted to have a little retraction that it may not be her that would allow that to be. I don't know why it's not allowed to be sold in Israel, and I know there are still some issues between the Palestinians and the Israelis. So I'm guessing it's something to do with that, but it may not be her specifically. So I just wanted to kind of say that to clean the slate because somehow the wrong document got posted, and as we all know in an online class like this, glitches like that happen. Okay, so now let's talk about week 6, module 6, global and multicultural literature. We're looking at diversity again, this time more specifically focused on culture. So this week you're going to discuss your Batchelder book, and remember the Batchelder book has won an award for translation. That's the Batchelder Book Award. And these are books that were written in another country for that country's population, and somebody thought they were good enough to translate into English and sell here for children in this country. So these are definitely global books because they're set in other countries. And so you're going to be talking about that. If I have not yet had a chance to participate in your discussion or see your discussion, please contact me again. Hopefully, especially if you're having your discussion next Thursday, I should be able to join in with you. And thank you to the people that have sort of shared over along the way. I know I've participated in a couple since we've started, and I really find it engaging and interesting to hear what you all have to say. Okay, so you're going to look at the book by Eve Bunting and consider, do you think a book written by a cultural outsider, in this case Eve Bunting, who is writing about a Hispanic family, can still be authentic or valid, even if there are some inaccuracies? And using examples from the book to support your position, you will be looking at this PowerPoint here. And short disclaimer, this PowerPoint is created because it's putting together a lot of information and sort of like a chapter article together. So I apologize if there's a lot of too much text per slide. It's a bad example, don't ever do it. But there was a lot of information rather than having you read something else. We wanted to give all this information to you at one spot. So before you actually comment on her book, go ahead and look at the PowerPoint, and then you'll create a document to talk about her book, and also in that same document you're going to talk about either the book your group reads together or another book that you've chosen on your own that deals with diversity or multicultural diversity, and respond to the questions on this link. It's the World of Words, which we used for the Family Literacy Backpack. Evaluating Literature for Authenticity. There are 12 different sections here. Literary qualities, origin of the book, authorship. So on your document, list each one of those and then respond to the question or questions. If for some reason it doesn't apply, that particular topic or issue doesn't apply to your book, just state that and then explain why not. Don't just leave it blank or ignore it. So make sure you address each one of these 11 points in your document. So your document that you upload will have information about Bunting's book and then another book that you've chosen. Okay, finally, like last week, last week, your group is going to look at some different articles relating to translation and use the information and the PowerPoint to create a list of things that it would take to write a culturally relevant book. And like in chapters 2 and 3, Pick another Web 2.0 tool. So if you did a Prezi last time, do something different this time. None of you tried Glogster, so maybe do that. Or you could try an Animoto, make a little video. But make sure it's clear that each person participates and what that each person does. I want to make sure everybody's sort of equally participating in this. So each one of you only has to read one, so you can pick one of these per person. Read the article. Start with a little synopsis. Start with an APA format reference to the article you read and your presentation, and a little synopsis of the article, and then go through as a group and create your points for that. So I think that's it for the week. The final thing I wanted to bring up is this week is our library field trip. So far I have 6 of you that are going. Taylor, Jennifer, Christian, Diane, Isabel, and Melanie. If you have not yet signed up but are interested, we'd love to have you. I'd love the whole class to go if you can make it. So I wanted to just show you getting there. You will take the 210 West, and you can either exit at Los Robles, make a left on Los Robles, and then a right onto Walnut. The library is here on Walnut Street between Los Robles and Marengo. I think MapQuest, this is Google, takes you to Marengo, and you exit Marengo, and then you would make a left onto Walnut. Now I just want to point out, the front of the library is Walnut Street, but the parking lot is actually behind here. So if you turned onto Walnut, you're going to turn onto Garfield, and that will allow you to park here. And this is the back door, that's the back entrance. That's where we'll meet at 2. So you should leave campus no later than 1:30. I'd leave around 1:15. It says right now it takes about a half hour, but it's 11 o'clock at night. So during the afternoon, it's not too bad, but it might be a little slow, especially getting into Pasadena. So give yourself 45 minutes or so to get there. Or like I said, if you can get there early, go to Old Pass, have some lunch, walk around, and then meet us. But you're going to turn onto Garfield, park in the back, and we'll meet at the back entrance. So I look forward to seeing all of you there. I will email those of you that have already signed up, and I will include my cell phone. If you're having any issues or problems, please text me or somebody else that's coming, so we're all not just waiting for you to show up there at 2. Talk to you soon. Hi there, I just wanted to make one more point about Module 6. I included this response document because I realized that I'd gotten a little more complex than I thought it would be originally, so I wanted to make sure you would remember to include all the information I'm looking for. So if you download this document, it makes it clear first that you include the response to the Eve Bunting book. Then you're going to select a book that either you've read as a group or on your own to evaluate for authenticity. I'd like an APA citation for that, because APA is like a language, use it or lose it. So the more you use it and get familiar, the better. Remember the rule about capitals. Some of you are still glitchy on that. I'd also like you to provide 2 A, B, C, D objectives. Give me first the full sentence, and then break it down by audience behavior, condition, degree, so I know that you're thinking about it, and I gave you an example here. And then finally, you're going to go to that World of Words website from University of Arizona and respond to the 11 categories in relationship to that book. So you will upload this to the Dropbox.